Just a reminder, we're stringing a Prince Beast Pro weighing in at 320 grams with a co-polyester monofilament string. Back in business for a racket. Pretty sure this is a, what inches are we dealing with here? Pretty sure it's a 100 square inch racket. Yeah, it's definitely a 100 square inch. Beautiful day in London today. I have to say, I just got back from a little walk. That's where we're based, in London. Stringing out of Hammersmith, West London, and spectacular day outside on Easter Friday before Easter, Good Friday. So I'm hoping to interview a few ATP players over the next few weeks. Whilst I'm stringing, I'm going to have a chat with them on Instagram Live and just ask them a few questions about how they deal with stringing on tour when they're traveling and whatnot. I know there's a lot of players, as I used to, and my brother still does, who's 160 in the world, Steven Diaz, actually strings his own rackets with the famous Pro Stringer stringing machines. So it'll be interesting to see how each player either gets his rackets strung on site or actually has invested into something that can save a lot of the lower ranked players some serious cash. When you're traveling on tour, you can pay anywhere between 25 euros, anywhere between 15 euros to 25 euros, or if you're in the UK, 15 pounds to 25 pounds, which is a bit of a disgrace. They should have some kind of cap somewhere where the lower level tournaments make less money, so they should be charged less. But at the same time, without dropping quality, as all the players are also professional. I have traveled myself to many different futures and challengers and strung for many players, where it's just a disgrace. The level of stringing and what they charge, they really take advantage of some of the players, which is completely unfair. What's going on, James? How are you, man? You well, buddy? Just wanted to say I'm always using two cameras. I've got this one is the Instagram live story, and the camera above is the camera I use for YouTube, and I add it later on. I'll add it to my YouTube channel, my Pro String channel. You stringing many rackets these days, James? So I've just pulled the last string of the main on the last side. On the other side, I pulled the tension up 5.5 pounds. Up to 60.5. Hey baby, oh wow. It's a full house in here today, as you can hear my daughter. Seems like she's taken the bed sheets off of her bed. And she wants them possibly in the garden. I don't know. So that's the last finishing knot on the mains. Two finishing knots, one on this side, one here. I think even if you had a machine, James, you'd be a bit like myself. I mean, no rackets, man. No rackets. Because nobody can play tennis, obviously. So no one can play tennis, nobody can break strings. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. Are you able to play at all, James? Any private chords or anything you know? Anybody you know able to play these days? So we're going to do a starting knot. I always, whether it's a finishing knot or a starting knot, I always use the Parnell knot. It's a knot that for me, it's one of the best knots out there. It looks good, it holds tension incredibly well. I always like to cut the ends of the string, so I've got a nice slanted edge, nice pointy edge. It's much easier to get the strings through. Sometimes it's hard to get the string through as some of the mains are already covering the holes I need to go through. But in this case it should just slide through, yeah. You're lucky, James, to have a good size, big wall at your house where you can hit some balls, even if it's a sponge ball, right? Better than nothing. I don't really have a wall. I don't have a large wall in my house, so I can't even do that. I'd have to move the sofa, and even then, if I moved the sofa, yeah, it just wouldn't work. Just wouldn't work. I just make sure these cameras are all rolling. Yes, all rolling well. So that's the first string of the crosses. I always string one ahead, guys, as you probably do as well, James. I can't remember. So one ahead means I'm always weaving one string ahead of the one I'm going to pull. So I'm pulling this one, which is the second one of the crosses, out of the 19 crosses. And very important as well, pull the string downwards. Don't ever just pull the string, just don't pull it up and down. If not, you really risk damaging the string. When you do that very quickly, you create friction between the main string, the vertical strings and the horizontal strings, so it actually can slightly burn or cut through the mains, depending how quick you pull the string. So that way, I always recommend pull the string down. Pull the string down to avoid any damage. And not only that, if you can hold the string nicely upwards, I'll show you in a minute what I mean. When you are actually tensing. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Make bed.
Make bed. Go make your bed. Go. So as you see, let me go back. I wasn't watching that. So hold the string upwards. Yeah. I'll show you one more time. So a lot of times the string won't be straight, and this will actually help you at the end when you finish from losing any unnecessary tension and all the strings. You always want to, when you finish a stringing job and whilst you string, you want to try to keep the string as straight as possible on the crosses or the horizontal strings. Really, really important. It's actually probably the longest I've gone without stringing a racket. I think the last video I made was 3-4 nights ago, I believe. Possibly more. I've lost count now, but yeah, it's hard to even know what day we really live in anymore. So it's I don't know. It's crazy times with coronavirus and how it's shut down such a large part of the world. I won't go into details because I've just had enough of it, to be honest. I just want life to go back to normal. Yeah, we all need business to go back to normal as well. Through my pro string business, I'm not actually entitled to have any money off the government as as I'm not employed underneath my company. So hopefully things go back to normal in the next few weeks, because I need people to start playing tennis, and people need to start playing tennis for their own mental health and physical health. I know a lot of us are doing workouts from home. My brother, Steven Diaz, is actually 160 in the world, and he's offering with his personal trainer to do a online workout off his Instagram live story on today, Good Friday. So if anyone's around at 6 p.m. this evening, Spanish time, 5 UK, you can follow the workout of a current 165 in the world ATP tennis player, Steven Diaz, with a V, Steven with a V. Be able to find him on there, on Instagram. Did it actually, did it the other day as well. I don't know if it was the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I think there was about 30 people on their first session, the first live session. Trying to keep everybody's spirits up. So they're giving that out for free, so you can follow a professional tennis player and how he's working out whilst self-isolating. Right, we're coming up to the end of this stringing job with the Prince Beast Pro 320 gram racket. Stringing with 4 knots with a copolyester monofilament, 25 kilos or 55 pounds. It's 2.2 pounds to the kilo. $160 in the world, Joe's saying. It's an incredible achievement. It is. It really is an incredible achievement. But the craziest thing about it all is that you can be ranked within the top 200 in the world in tennis, and you still struggle to survive. It's incredible, yeah. I mean, any other sport, if you're in the best 200, 300 in the world, basketball, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. You know, obviously apart from perhaps lots of Olympic sports that are more, it's a little bit different, but if you're the best at that, then you'll get lots of nice endorsements. But yeah, you cannot live a decent life if you are 160 in the world. I mean, my brother was 130 in the world, but you really need to be 100 in the world, top 100, to be cashing in Grand Slam first round prizes, which is generally between $30,000 and $40,000 pounds. Oops. You know, you're traveling with your coach. You're traveling. Sometimes not your coach. You're traveling with your personal trainer or your physio. Sometimes, depending on the person and the player, what they value more. It's 2 flights for every time you travel. It's 2 flights. Every time you eat, it's 2 meals. It's very common these days to travel Airbnb, so to stay in a hotel apartment where you can cook your own food and you can save some good money. But generally, it's just, yeah, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult career. Why is it, Joe? It's just the money's really badly divided on tour. If you're top 100, not even 100, even if you go higher, top 20 or 30, you'll be making millions. But as soon as you drop outside the top 100, there's just not enough money put in to the lower tier of tennis, which would be challengers and downwards. Challengers, for winning the top challenger these days, I don't know if it's between 10 and 12,000. They've actually put a little bit more money into challengers now. But you've also got to play an extra match. You've got to win 6 matches in a challenger as to 5 before 2020. So that's 6 matches in 7 days. And to win a Grand Slam, it's only 1 more match in 2 weeks. So you tell me that one as well. Is it a corrupt system? I'm not sure it's necessarily corrupt. It's something we can ask one of the players I'll be interviewing in the next. That's a good question. It'd be good to know what feedback an ATP player thinks, what a actual current or ex ATP player or WTA player thinks. It'd be interesting to see what their thoughts are. My thoughts? No, it's just that there's just too much money at the top, you're not enough at the bottom. Look how much. Okay, you've got to give credit to Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, all these top guys who are constantly winning all the Grand Slams. So they take all the money. It's not, but that's because they win more matches than anybody. Now, Challenger Tour, slightly different. There's just not enough money going around. You'd have to win all the Challenger events, which is incredibly hard. You have players anywhere from 50 in the world and up playing on the Challenger Tour. So to be able to consistently win those events is extremely hard. And then if you go down another step, you have what's called the Futures. In the Futures, you have, I think they took away that, so you have, was it 15,000 events now and 25,000 events, $25,000 or euros, depending where you are in the world. I think in the UK it's normally they pay in dollars. So there you have guys that are anywhere between 150, 200 and up. And again, it's very hard to win week after week. And if you win a future event, you're looking at winning anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500. If you make it to the final, that means you need a week of a hotel for you and your coach. You've got to sleep comfortably. Both of you have to sleep comfortably because there's so many weeks of on tour, 30, 35 weeks for some. And it's just, it's just not enough money, And then of course, if you're 500-600 in the world, you may not even have sponsors. You might get a few rackets or some strings. It really depends on who you are. It used to be completely different 15, 20 years ago. It felt like everybody was getting rackets and strings. But anyway, maybe this is a good chat for another time. It's a really good topic. And I could probably bring that up with some players if they don't mind in the very near future. So I'm going to work on that. I'm actually going to speak to my friend Francesco Villardo very soon. Excuse me for the noise in the background. Guys, this racket has come out just the way we want it, 25 kilos. Wishing you guys all the best. Stay safe. Joe, thanks for tuning in as usual. Happy that at least someone's watching all the way through. Amazing. Guys, peace and love. Take care. Keep those hands clean.